What's going on, people? It's Mr. Door back again with the previous show. I hope everyone's fit and well. And yes, big game on Sunday. Manchester United are in town. Can Forest win? 8 games to go, and it's squeaky bun time. We need a win. We need a win. I don't know how we can get this win, but it's tough. I've got a special guest coming in soon with Maisie from Devils United. Should be soon, any minute time. So please, in the chat, please show some love to Maisie. And again, well, people, if you are new to a channel, please do hit the subscribe button. I'm on the road to 12k. As well, people in the comments, what is your score prediction? I know, like I said, it's a massive game, a tough game as well. I've done a poll as well. So who's going to win? I put Forest, Man U, or draw. So far, 50 people have voted. 73 says Forest, 13 says Man U, and 13 says draw. So please do, people, get your votes in for the poll. But like I said, people, put in the comment section, what is your draw? If you're on Facebook as well, people, just like I said, go on my YouTube channel and watch it from there. But if you can, watch it from there as well. Right, before I get amazing as well, people, but like 8 games to go. I've mentioned it, 8 games to play. Massive test for Forest, big test. We've got Man U, we've got Liverpool, we've got Brighton, all massive games as well, people. So, like I said, massive test for the club, big, and I still believe in people. If people in the chat disagree with me, it's still free. But like I told people, it's a massive game. Are you going to the game on Sunday? Put a thumbs up as well. And as well in the chat, where are you watching this stream? I'd love to know where you're watching the stream. Right, people in the chat, like I said, show some love to Maisie. Like she's from Devils United. Her link is in the description as well, people. She can talk about Man U season as well. I know they've beat us 3 times as well, so she might rub it in as well from her point of view. Because like I said, we haven't scored a goal yet past them, so she might rub it in. But as well, people, show some love to Maisie. How you doing, Maisie?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you, Mr. Door? Thank you for having me on.
Again, I was just saying, you've beat us 3 times this season, and I'm still yet to score a goal. But before we do, like I said, people, this is Maisie. Maisie, before we do talk about the game, talk about your YouTube channel so people can go and follow it.
Yeah, my YouTube channel's Devils United. Do Manchester United content on there, not just for the men's football. I also do it for the women's football as well. Previews, away watch-alongs now because I'll be going back to the games. And I've been doing a tiny bit of sporting content as well, just because I think for me, there's not much on the YouTube where you see much of the Portuguese league. So I like to get a bit more of the, as well as getting more exposure to the women's football, get some more exposure to different leagues, just because we're hearing about La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie A. You're not hearing it about Liga Portugal.
So there's people in the description. Make sure everyone follows Devils United. Like I said, she does Man U content as well. So in the description, make sure everyone subscribes. Right, Maisie, let's talk about the game, man. What was the score last time we went to you lot? Is it 3-0?
3-0.
Let's talk about that game. We were lucky. I think you lot went 1-0, 2-0 up, and then I think Ryan Yates scored a goal, but it was offside. But can you remember that game and talk about it?
I was at the game. I was sat at the east stand, so I think I was just like above you. Maybe if I bent down a bit, I might have seen you, Mr. Door. Probably trying to wind up the Man United fans.
That's right. Amazing. Right. People in the comments, and there's quite a few people know me. Do I wind up away fans? I'm not that kind of person that just winds up away fans. People in the comments will know I'm a nice bloke. I don't wind up away fans. People in the comments will know. Carry on with Maisie.
Well, technically, you would have been the away fan, Mr. Door.
I don't wind people. I don't wind them up. I sit there, talk to my friends, and watch the game. If I go to a away game, I don't say nothing to the rival clubs. I don't say one thing. Yeah, but even Gary says it. Gary Marriott. Yeah, where is it? Is it here? Yes, all the time. I know. I sit next to you. He's a liar. Gary Marriott, you're a liar. You shouldn't lie to people in the comments as well. As well with James Dore, you just wind up fans on the preview. I don't want people. Where's getting this agenda from? Maisie, look what you've done. You made people cause trouble now. As well. In fact, Eve, like you are a nice man, Mr. Dore. You are a legend, Eve. Thank you very much. See, I'm a nice person. Well, before we do, I've got a super chat from Spesh. Thank you for the £4. Hi, Dore. Maisie, are you worried after losing 2 key players to injury this week? Maisie, let's talk about. Right, I'm sick of and this is not aimed at you,
Right,
Maisie.
let's just end it. Mr. Dore is a nice man.
I'm a nice Blake, right? People in the comments, right? Man U fans are whinging about players. They got 6 or 7 players, 5 or 6 players out. Forest, I've got like 13 or 14 players out. Do you see his whinging? We just get on with it. Maisie, talk about how many players that's missing.
We've got Varane out for the rest of the season. We've got Varane out. Martinez out for 10 months. We've got Luke Shaw out. Not too sure how long that's for. Got Marcus Rashford out. Not too sure how long that is for either. We've got Donny out for the rest of the season. We don't. I think for me, the only thing what is a little bit of a problem is the defence. But I think there is clubs that's got a much worse injury record.
Like Forest. Just get that out of the way.
Like Forest. And last season, you look at Leeds, who was relying on their under-18s to get through the season. It's not that much of an injury crisis where you're having to rely on youth players. I do think some of the Manchester United fan bases are being overreactive. By saying, "Oh, we're going to lose Europa, we're going to lose the FA Cup, we're going to lose top 4." It's very stupid. But I do, there is injuries, but I do think under the same breath, it's Manchester United's fault by being, how can I say, over-reliant on certain players to do a good job. We shouldn't be over-relying on Marcus Rashford to get goals. We should be over-relying on Luke Shaw to be the rock of the left back. We shouldn't, when Casemiro's out, we should be relying on Casemiro to be to make the midfield into a solid midfield. And that's the problem with Manchester United, is that it's all based on individual brilliance, which we've complained about over the years, but they like it this season. You can only imagine what Man United fans are like.
Whinge and whinge. Before let's I thought to shout out to Spesh. Thank you, Spesh. Thank you for the £4.49 as well. Much appreciate that. And if you do want to help me out with super chats, it just helps me out the channel a lot. As well, so please, if you can, help me out, super chats or get your comments in as well, people. And if you want to be a member, people, please do. It helps my channel a lot, and there's quite a lot of members as well. Like I said, James here, Dore likes to wind up away fans with preview vlogs. I don't do this. I don't wind up fans. I saw another comment from Claire Smith. Dore, you wind up your friends, or let you know. Claire, again, lies. Why are you lying to people? As well. And Gary says, remember your Wolves friend. He started it. He started it. I just responded to him, Gary, if you do remember. But people in the comments, ignore these lies. Absolutely lies. Mr. Josh, hey, yes, guys, how are you? We have every chance of beating Man United if we play in the right mindset. 1-0 Forest, got to Josh. The right mindset, if we do play better than the last games that we played, we've got a good chance as well. Mohammed says, don't worry, Ian, have faith and believes we can win. Raz Dads, how you doing, Raz Dads? Even though I think we'll win with Man United injuries, come on, you Red, as well. And I'm a massive fan of Marcus Rashford. Massive fan. Do you miss him? Because I know, like I said, he hasn't played a few games because of injury.
Yeah, I think we do miss Marcus Rashford. I think I read a stat that he scored 30% of Manchester United's goals this season, which is a large amount of goals to take into consideration. And I know there's some little tiny bits of other players as well. And looking at the way Rashford plays, you don't see the qualities in the other forward players. Like Martial's just coming back from his injury, and if he plays a full 90, he'll probably get injured again. That's how bad it's getting to the point with Martial. Anthony, I think he's quite a greedy player.
Oh, I think he's boring. I'm not saying it. I think he's useless because when we played when we played against you lot at Old Trafford, I think it was the league or League Cup. I think it was the league. Marder, little fouls. You remind me of I'm not saying Jack Grealish because he
not as bad as him.
But he whinges though. He whinges on that. So yeah, carry on.
Yeah, I think for me, he's a very greedy player. He only passes to certain players as well. So I just think that he isn't. I don't think he is the quality for me to be at Manchester United. Sancho has had a lot of issues going on. He isn't up to the scratch where we would like him to be. So I'm a little bit worried because I do think that we don't really have that quality up front, but I think looking at it, the only people who you can rely on for a goal would be Bruno Fernandez, who hasn't scored as well as he has in the recent years, or Sabitzer. They're the only two who I think is going to be the most reliant person to get a goal. And I even said it, even if we didn't have these injuries, I'd be worried to come to the City ground. And the reason why is because you've made the City ground into like a fortress. You've beaten Liverpool, you've beaten Manchester City. I'm sure you got a win against West Ham as well.
We've drawn with Man City. We beat West Ham.
Drawn City.
I know, but I know you lot lost to Liverpool. We beat Liverpool because I know everyone's beating Liverpool. So I don't want to rub it in, Maisie, because we beat Liverpool and you didn't. So
we did though. We did at our ground.
What score?
2-1.
Oh, okay then. Everyone's beating Liverpool. Like we beat Liverpool. And we'll beat my Anfield again. Well, I don't want to rub it in, Liverpool fans. Just saying. Carry on, Maisie.
Yeah. I think for me it is very hard to go, as I said, to the City ground. You've got roughly around 80% of your points from there. And I think as well, you are gelling more as a team. You've got the right system now, which I think the 4-3-3 suits Nottingham Forest the best. You're getting some Brendan Johnson. He's working like clockwork. Serge Aurier's doing very, very good as well. So I think there has been a little few mistakes from Forest. Don't get me wrong, and I know the Shelby one was a big one from.
Don't talk about that. Oh, still hurts me.
But I do think you can break the curse, and I will say that you could potentially get something in the fourth attempt.
Let's talk about your defence because again, you lost what's the defender's name? The Argentine defender.
Martinez.
You lost Varane as well, and everyone I see on social media as well. People like Harry Maguire is getting slaughtered. Lindelof is getting slaughtered. People in the comments, what are you confident that we can get a win with these defenders playing? Maisie, what's your opinion on these two? Are they right to get criticised or not?
I think for me with Lindelof, I think people are overreacting about him just because you look at Lindelof, he was definitely our best centre-back last season. He hasn't had the level of minutes compared to the other centre-backs who's played. He's even had less minutes than Harry Maguire. So I think it's unfair to really criticise Lindelof, but Maguire does deserve the criticism. It's getting to the point where Manchester United fans are singing, Harry Maguire, our defence is terrified. That's what Manchester United fans are singing.
Right, let me say this right, because Harry Maguire is getting absolutely nightly on social media. I listen to Forest fans. Would you want Harry Maguire at Forest if it happens? Put in the comments, yes or no. Do you think Harry Maguire will be a good defender at Forest? Because he's getting absolutely annihilated by his own fans. And I think,
to be honest, though, I think for me, if he went to a club who played a back three, I think it would really work for him. If he went to like Spurs, or if he went to Chelsea, or if Leicester went back to the back three, I think it would really, really work for him. But in teams in the back four, he gets highly exploited. You've seen it even for England. When he's played in the back three, he's great. But when he plays in the back four, he leaves massive amount of spaces. And that's something that I don't think Nottingham Forest will be able to manage, and I don't think Steve Cooper, in my opinion, would actually want that either.
I'm seeing the comment. Like I said, people, if you just turned up, I've just said, would you want Maguire at Nottingham Forest? Razdad says never. Gary says nope. It's got to be better than Worrell and McKenna. Spesh says no, 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 and again no. And Chris Game says Harry Maguire is always a decent for England. He is that. And Sam says keep Slabhead. If people don't know, he's got a massive head. That's why it's called Slabhead. As well, let's talk about that the midfield, and you got Fernandez, Casemiro. I think that's the strength bit in your team. Are you confident? Like I said, Rashford's out as well, and Anthony 50-50 on him. Do you think Fernandez can step his game up now the few players are injured?
I never thought I would have said this season, but coming into the game, the midfield is probably the best part of Manchester United coming in, because defence is rubbish. The attacking options I don't think are up to scratch either. So I think Casemiro, he is a rock in that defence, and he does make the defence from like 0 to 100 very quickly just with the way he plays. He controls the tempo. I think Bruno Fernandez, he does whinge. He does irritate me in that respect, but I think the aspects that he has, I think you could tell by that Seville 2-2 draw. Once Bruno come off, there was nothing in that Manchester United side that showed any kind of creativity. And that's why we signed him originally, when Paul Scholes was saying, where's the creativity in this team? Who is creative for Manchester United back in 2020? And it just shows he is that main person for that. He's the one who's driving the ball forward. And if he doesn't have a bad game, if he has a bad game but he still assists, he's still making an impact, and that's the thing with Bruno. I think for me though, with Ten Hag, he's slotting him more into that 8 role, into the box-to-box role, and then he's playing Sabitzer as the 10 role where Bruno usually plays, because he's getting a bit more out of Sabitzer there. I think he's managed to get in that 10 role. He's had 2 goals, 2 assists now. So he's making that lot of an impact, and once Eriksen's back fully fit, I think he'll be coming back straight into that midfield. And then it's the matter of that little bit of competition there for Bruno, because I think he's always been, overly comfortable in that role, because he thinks, I'm never going to be dropped because no one's as good as me there. And I agree, because no one is as good as him there. Donny's been overhyped, and look what's happened to him. So I do think the best thing was Sabitzer to come in for that reason. And I think Bruno's great. I think Sabitzer's finding his feet. Eriksen, I'm looking forward to him to be fully back, and Casemiro's also great.
People, if you can do a massive favour, please do hit the like button. If you can, help the channel a lot. And if you are new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button as well. Maybe I know you spoke about Brennan Johnson. He's a top player. Is he the player that are you worried about?
Yes, I do think so. And I think, especially in Malacia, he can be, because Malacia is going to be starting. Luke Shaw's injured. So, we seen in the game the other day, he was exploited on the one-on-ones. We've noticed it a few games for Malacia this season. I'd probably say that's more down to inexperience. He's probably finding his feet in the Premier League. He's still only very young. But I think with Brennan Johnson, that kind of pace where he's able to cut in, he's going to cause a lot of issues there for Malacia coming into the game. And depending on who's starting on the right back role, if that's going to be Wan-Bissaka or Dalot, I think Gibbs White, he's going to be creating some kind of danger there too, just because I think Dalot will be exploited as well if he was to start.
What do you think of Steve Cooper? I know there's been so much pressure on him. How many managers have been sacked? 12 managers have been sacked so far. As a rival fan, I know you don't really focus on Forest as much. What do you think about Steve Cooper? Do you think he deserves to stay out for the last 8 games, or do you think Forest need a new change because they need to stay in the Premier League?
Yeah, you do need to stay into the Premier League. I agree with that. But under the same breath, anyone could get relegated from 12th to 20th. So anything could really happen. If I was the Forest board, I wouldn't sack Steve Cooper. I think the owner has done very well to extend his contract to say, I back you, I see you in my future. And you're not seeing that as much where and that's where a lot of people are praising Nottingham Forest, because as you mentioned, a lot of managers have been sacked, and to have that kind of stability there, I think it's great, and also great for the players as well. I think it's hard for Steve Cooper to manage a team where it's completely different compared to last season. It's like he has to rebuild again, and he needs to have that little bit more time. And you've seen it with Burnley last season. He went and sacked Sean Dyche a few games left of the season, and they still got relegated. It doesn't necessarily mean if you was to stack the stats, Steve Cooper, that you are going to benefit out of it.
Well said. I think that's well said what Maze just said as well, people. If you did like that, what Maze just said, please do hit the like button. That was so amazing. Even Chris Game says, well said, Maze. Cooper's got to stay. People in the comments, like I said, are you Cooper in or Cooper out? As people know, I'm Cooper in. I want him to stay to the end of the season, and then we'll see what happens in the season. Then we'll talk about it. But people in the comments, what do you think? See Cooper in or out? I'm in. 2 more questions. Maisie, I think I don't know if I've answered this question. I'm going to ask you again. If people don't know, at the start of the season, where did you think Manu will finish? And now, where do you think Manu will end up finishing?
When I done my predictions before the season started, I predicted Manchester United to finish 5th. The reason why I done that is it's Ten Hag's first season. It's one of them things. I don't think he's gonna get everything done overnight, and I think in certain aspects he has overachieved, because he's got us to the FA Cup semi-final, won the Carabao Cup. We're still in the Europa League as it stands, so I think in that kind of respect he has overachieved, but we have dropped massive silly points. I think top 4 isn't secure. I am, compared to what I predicted at first, I am going to say 4th, just because I don't think Spurs have been they haven't fought like a top 4 team. Liverpool, they're not worthy of being top 4. Neither is Chelsea. The only ones who I think could really fight for that top 4 would be Brighton, because under De Zerbi, they are absolutely fantastic, and I think they play a lot better under him than they did under Graham Potter. So I think they will be only the team really who will knock us out of there. Apart from that, all the other teams around, I don't think have played like they should be in the top 4.
So where do you think you'll finish?
I'm gonna go 4th.
Finish 4th?
I think 4th, but I did predict 5th at first before the season.
People in the comments, where do you think Manu will finish in the league? I think Manu will finish 5th.
I wouldn't be overly upset if we finish 5th, but I did say though.
I think you should be.
But the thing is, if we went and won the Europa League and we finished 5th, that's not a bad achievement.
It's not a bad achievement as well. Not bad achievement.
Not compared to what we was last season.
That is true. That is true. Man U finished 4th. I think 4th, 5th, and win UEFA Cup. Yeah, I'll take that. People comments. Last before we do go, what is your score prediction for Sunday's game? 4:30 kickoff. Get your comments in right now. Maisie is thinking what her score prediction is going to be. Go on, say it, mate. Go on, say it.
1-1 draw.
I'll take that. People in the comments, would you take 1-1? Would I take 1-1? People in the comments, what do you think? Do you think 1-1's a good point? At home as well against Man U? Not bad, isn't it? If you look at it. Are you sure you're taking 1-1?
I think we're gonna draw 1-1. I just don't think that I think for me it's just going to be too. I think for me, Forest is playing too well at home. I don't think that. I think we're going to, how can I say, underestimate how Forest is going to play.
Oh, I'm like, I think people need to go and follow Daisy's channel, Devils United. She's been on top form today. Mohammed says Forest 1, Man U 0. Gary says a cheeky 1-0 Forest. Maisie, you'll probably miss Spurs. Probably Spurs as they're running could nick fourth. It could true as well. James says 1-0, need a win. Sam Laptop says yes. I think he agrees what I said. D-Trap says good point, good 3 better. Yeah, that will be. We need 3 points. Morgan's White with the winner. Special, I hope for 1-0 to Forest. He says 1-0 Forest, Johnson or Aroni. Paul says dual win over them now. Yeah, we played them 3 times. We've lost 3 and I've not scored a goal past them yet. So last but not least, Chris says 2-1 to Forest. We just need a win, people. We just need a win. Right, it's been a pleasure, Maisie. Absolute pleasure for coming to one before. I was meant to say what score, what happened. Yeah, I know what you meant, Eve. I know what you mean. Maisie, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for taking time to come on my channel. As well, people, if you can do a massive favor for Maisie, a link is in the description. Make sure everyone subscribes to Maisie, and if, when we do, just go and attack her, and when we win, just go just troll her. I like to troll her by rival fans. See, I'm a nice person, but I'm not being a nice person now. Right, people, it's been a pleasure as well. Make sure everyone subscribes to Maisie. I'll be back. Yeah, Sunday's game, 4:30. If you want to get on a vlog, please do as well. The match review show, that'll be 8 o'clock. That'll be with myself, Foxy, who else? Glenn and Dave. That's the panel for Thursday as well. And as well, I'll be doing my after game review as well, and you know, the vlog as well. So much content coming out as well, people. So if you can, do a massive favor. If you do want to watch all the content, if you are new to the channel, please do hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and if you rewatching this show as well, in the comment section, what do you think your score prediction is for Saturday? And what's your score? Like, what's your lineup as well, people? Because we know people like to change it all sometimes around. So people as well, what is your lineup as well for the first game on Sunday? Put it in the description as well. Right, it's been a pleasure. Maisie, thank you for coming on my channel. It's been a pleasure. Make sure, hopefully, you got the tissues ready for Sunday.
I think I've shedded too many tears on Manchester United. I think it says a lot when I think the last time I truly cried over Manchester United was that when Middlesbrough knocked us out, and I think ever since then, every time we've had bad results, I've feel numb.
Oh, days.
Well, thank you for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
No, it's been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. When Maisie comes on, it's always positive vibes. Right, people, I'm gonna get going. I'll see you Sunday for the match game review show and all that. Peace and love, people. Amazing. Up the Forest. Up the Forest.
Up the United.
Oh, here we go. Peace and love, people.